Good afternoon and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are in this great country of ours. North side, south side, east coast, west coast, wherever you are. Welcome to the special Thursday edition of Bethea'S Byte Reloaded. Your home for news, opinions, debates, your voice, and justice served. I'm Ernest Bethea, the last outlaw. It's so good to have you all here today. I did not have any plans to be here on a Thursday. How you doing, Sav? I didn't have any plans to be here on a Thursday, but with everything that has happened recently over the last few days, here I am. I am here because of things that have gone on within the true crime community that has me bugged out, and I'm almost speechless, almost. So I want to go ahead and put this out right now. Oh wow. Oh yes, yes. Come on up. I want anybody that wants to speak on this. Here's the link. Come right on up. I'll be more than happy to have you aboard. Over the last few days, I've heard about one of the most disgusting and heinous acts anyone in the true crime community can commit, and then have enough nerve to call themselves a part of the true crime community. How you doing, Sav?
I'm really good. How are you?
I am. Well, you thought I was at the boiling point yesterday talking about Alexi Treviso?
Well, no. To be honest, I thought there was leverage in there.
That's only because I was trying to maintain my composure.
Which you did.
Today?
Which you did well. By the way,
Yeah.
I really love your intro on your.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to give you something to something positive. That is. I come from a news.
What about now? I need a little something positive before I jump in on this.
Yeah, no worries. I come from a news and current affairs background. Okay.
Okay, great.
And in fact, I used to be a technical director for Sky News for about 3 years here. And your graphics and your intro and everything are just really polished. So you've got a lot to be proud of. It's no mean feat in getting graphics and everything together, because that's what we do. But I've worked with some very, very big names from a technical perspective. Plus, I've done worldwide crosses into foreign countries. It's not something that's, people take it for granted that YouTube just exists. And these things just happen to be there, and they don't take any notice of backgrounds, intros, or choices of music and etc. like that. So I can see how much work you put into getting this off the ground, and I think that you've got so much to be proud of. It's amazing.
Well, I thank you for that. I thank you for so much, because I do put in the work, but the real meat and potatoes is that my focus is on the case. I am victim focused, meaning I'm all about getting justice for the victims, making sure that the victims get the justice they deserve, and the bad guys are put away. But getting into what we're talking about today, when it comes down to creators, these true crime creators who is only in this for the clicks, the views, the YouTube drama, and the money. I cannot. If it's one thing I can't stand, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, one of the things I don't understand is why these things are not automatically sealed by any court.
Mm. All right. Good to know. Good to know. That's how you found me, Mischief. Thank you for joining me. And if you want to come up, come up. I'll give you the link again. There you
I'll
go.
also give you the I dialed up the New South Wales with the state of New South Wales coroner's requirements for getting autopsy photos. So when you're ready,
Right.
I'll run through that with you.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with this. Where I want to give everybody the obligatory trigger warning, because this one, like I said, um, oh no, sorry, I have no filter and a very bad potty mouth. Mischief, today's the day I want you to have no filter. Today is a day I want you to have a very bad potty mouth. You'll actually be able to say all the things I personally can't say. And here's the trigger warning, ladies and gentlemen. What you're about to hear, basically, what you're about to hear may be triggering to your mental health. And if you can't hack this, then definitely this edition is not for you. Miss Thang says she's the same way, bad potty mouth and all that. I get it. You're at the boiling point. All the more reason for you to come up. Speak your piece. Over the last few days, all I've heard about was Zav Girl. Who is Zav Girl? I didn't know. But when I got to the what did she do, it sent me to the boiling point already. I'm already still at the boiling point. So, in fact, what I'm going to do is pull up one of my favorite people who took his time, and when I say the man unleashed, he unleashed on Zav Girl and a few others, I might add. If I can find it. Da, 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 da. I'm hoping he didn't. Now I am hoping he didn't take it down. I'm gonna have to go to my history to find it, because I know I watched it. Guys, be patient with me. There it is. There it is. Hang tight, guys. There we go. Now, let's see. We got here. Here, Mischief says she should be removed from YouTube, and the parents should sue. I agree. I totally agree. Miss Thang, Shouldn't have even had to ask if she should take it down. It should have never been put up in the first place. I totally agree with that too. Ooh, but if you really want to know what anybody in the YouTube true crime community is thinking, how about we talk about how about we send this over to my good friend, my main man, 50 grand, Arctic Fox True Crime. Now you talk about somebody that has no filter, mischief, you and this guy are in good company. Fox, talk to him.
What's going on, guys? This is Arctic Fox. Welcome back to the channel. I think we need to talk about the turds that are floating around in the punch bowl that is the true crime community, two of which are Bullhorn Betty and Zav Girl. Zav Girl, you know, the one that turned the Kylie Rodney case into a complete shit show and doxed several teenagers in the process and went after creators that are actually reputable, unlike herself. Yeah, that's the same one. Well, she has now decided that she's going to put a little boy's autopsy photos behind a paywall and put them up on Patreon. Now, you can say that she's not selling the pictures all you want. She put them behind a paywall. A $3 paywall, granted, but a paywall just the same. So people are going to have to subscribe to that lowest tier of her Patreon to see the photos. Now, you can say she's not selling them. Seems like she's selling them to me. But Patreon has deactivated her account, which is good. Because what Zav Girl did, in my opinion, is the lowest fucking scumbag thing that I have seen in quite some time any creator do in this community. And the fact that this bitch has almost 100,000 subs and that she's so close to getting her YouTube play button makes me fucking sick. This bitch literally brings nothing to the table, guys. You watch any of her 9-10 hour live streams, it's just a bunch of her sitting there reacting to different news clips and stuff looking like she's choking on a cock. I mean, come on. The girl looks like she's methed out, too. I don't know if she is or not, but she certainly looks like it half the time. And this girl has no heart for what she did. And she wasn't very smart about it. She did put it behind the paywall, but she didn't password protect that information. Once you paid the money to see it, anyone could download it and put it out there for the world to see, which is how another worthless piece of shit creator, Natasha Cooper, got her hands on it. She's starting to sell the pictures or put them out there behind a paywall, whatever the fuck, however you want to put it. 6 and 1/2 dozen the other guys. And I know that she FOIA'd and got the pictures legitimately. She got them legally. And just because what she did was legal doesn't mean that what she fucking did was right. Now, Gannon's grandmother has been on Facebook. She made a post earlier saying how terribly upset she is. Landon, the mother, said that this is her worst nightmare come true. You know, she feared this happening. Now, thank God Colorado's working on laws to protect this type of thing from happening in the future. And I'm not saying that we need to get rid of the FOIA system at all, because that's a very important element in place that has helped to overturn a lot of wrongful convictions. That has helped to bring injustices to light. But we do need to protect these kids' autopsy photos from being released and put out there for all the world to see. Of course, to no surprise, Bullhorn Betty was on her channel fucking simping her heart out for Zav Girl earlier. Of course, she's another piece of shit cut from the same cloth. See, these creators that sit here and tragedy pimp this shit out like this, they don't care. They're not here to help. Putting those pictures of Gannon out did nothing to help. His piece of shit murderer has already been put behind bars for life. Okay? Justice has been served for Gannon. And sitting there looking at his pictures, sitting there like you're taking a magnifying glass to him. Is that a string? Is that a string? Oh no, that's maggots. That is the most disrespectful fucking thing that you could have done. And then you've got your people in the comments on there talking about making just disrespectful comments all the way around. And I don't care. You can come after me all you want. I don't scare off easy, bitch. So just come after me all you want. What would be a perfect thing to have happen is that if, God forbid, I don't even know if you've got kids or not, but if, God forbid, something were to happen tragic to one of your children, I hope and pray that they release the autopsy photos in the most gruesome fashion on your child if something ever happens like that. That would be justice. Because I guarantee you wouldn't be like, oh, well, it's okay. I got it all legally. There's nothing wrong. You wouldn't be like, oh, well, they put them out there legally. They didn't break any laws. I guarantee you, if it was your kid, if it was someone you loved, you wouldn't be all so nonchalant about it. And neither would Bullhorn Betty. But y'all are all creators cut of the same cloth, just like Oh Justice for All when he unblurred those photos of Kylie Rodney. Y'all disgust me. Y'all make me fucking sick to my stomach. And you make me almost ashamed to be part of the true crime community. But if it's not for creators like myself and the Glare and even the clip channels calling your asses out, then y'all will take over this platform. And it'll be nothing but one big fucking cesspool of snakes in the grass that go after these families, that attack the families of missing people, that do shit like you did, and put these pictures of deceased children out for all the world to see. Not giving a shit about how it's going to affect the family. Not giving a shit about how it's going to affect Gannon's sisters or brothers or whatever. You don't care. Didn't care how it was going to affect his mother. Didn't care how it was going to affect his father, his grandma. All you cared about is, hey, it'll get me clicks and views. It'll get me some people joining my Patreon. You know, and when Will was on there earlier, talking about how all of this was a really shitty thing for you to do, he gave you the opportunity to come up there on the Glare's channel and explain yourself. But conveniently enough, you said that you had a shitty internet connection and you couldn't come up. However, your internet connection's not shitty enough to prevent you from doing 8 and 9 hour live streams. Your internet connection wasn't shitty enough to prevent you from going on Laura's panel after that. So you just continue to show that you think we're all completely stupid. And then you come out there and you try to make comments and you try to say that everyone's attacking you. Yeah, bitch. People are attacking you because you did a really shitty, scummy thing. No one here has sympathy for you except for maybe Bullhorn Betty, and she's not mentally stable. She's proven that time and time again. So stop your crying and your boo-hooing. Buckle up, Buttercup. It's going to be a completely rough ride for you, probably for the next couple of months. You've been through it before. You went through this when you pulled your shit by putting up Chuck up on your panel and doxing those kids and putting their lives in danger to the point that they had to delete their fucking TikTok accounts. They feared for their lives. You went after legitimate creators like Ickadmel. You're not a legitimate creator. You're not anyone that knows how to do your research. You're not anyone with any type of scientific background. You've not experienced the shit that these families are going through. So you have no place here. Except for to run your mouth and to hurt families. Kind of like Bullhorn Betty does. So my best advice to you, Zav Girl, would be to delete your fucking channel. Shut the fuck up and go over to the Kick platform where all the rest of the scum of the earth are moving to. Because that is where you belong. Not here. As always, guys, I do want to thank you so much for tuning in and watching. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Y'all be kind to one another out there. I'll see you soon in the next one.
And I want to thank Arctic Fox for that passionate display as far as what Zav Girl has done, how he ties Bullhorn Betty into it. But there is one other person that we didn't even name, and I got a little taste of her live last night while I was on in the chat during the Let's Talk Live podcast.
Oh, that was hilariously done, I have to say. That was so clever. Live streaming a live stream.
Yeah,
and she probably doesn't even know it still. I gotta give them a round of applause to that. That was the smoothest thing I've ever heard. Live streaming a live stream. Woo! Natasha Cooper. You would think Natasha Cooper, her channel's got True Crime with Natasha Cooper in the name, right? You would think that she would stand up for all that's right. No, she doubled and tripled down on the whole thing, trying to make Zav Girl look like the victim.
How is she the victim?
Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard the voice of my wife, Lady Outlaw. How is she the victim? I'll make the answer short and sweet, darling.
The one that threw her baby in the garbage can.
No. Wrong case.
Hi, Lady Outlaw.
Wrong case. We're talking about a live stream creator who in my opinion re-victimized a previous victim. She decided to get a child's autopsy photos,
and you told me she posted them.
She did at $3 a pop on her Patreon.
What the?
Yeah. Now she's got two major supporters. One who was live streamed last night on a live stream, and the other who will just simp for anybody because she just don't give a damn. Those two in question are Natasha Cooper, live streamed last night on a live stream, and Bullhorn Betty, who I already have beef with. With Miss Thanks says she ain't no victim. Oh, no, not at all. She's not a victim at all. Natasha Cooper doubled and tripled down on what Zav Girl did as far as support goes. It's the kind of thing that has me wondering and waffling back and forth whenever I'm able to have my channel monetized. Should I do it? Should I not? Should I do it or should I not? Mr. Fall Around. Yeah, there's a special place in hell for these creatures. Babe, don't please. I know that's up to me, but but when y'all hear stuff like this going on within the true crime community,
okay,
I'm waffling back and forth.
As a creator and myself,
before you even finish that statement, I just found out that Bullhorn Betty is now backpedaling on her statement.
Of course, no, she is. She's scared.
And shoot. Of course. My wife says she's scared. I tend to agree. Sav, what do you think?
Well, I'm kind of thinking that, 44 minutes ago, And I'm going to see how long this stays up for, because like I've screenshot it, which is what I do. I put a post on Natasha's comment section of that last live that she did, and it's very polite, and I'll read it out. And I said,
Please.
Nobody's autopsy photos, no matter their age, should ever be publicly published, ever, even behind a paywall. No matter how you want to spin this situation, it's not moral or ethical. So let's see how long that stays up for before it gets deleted.
Bet.
But
Absolutely.
the way she's spinning it, and she goes, "Oh, I'm not selling photos because I watched on purpose. I didn't even subscribe to these people at all. I just went in there and had a look, and I listened to the previous one to that." And right at the end, she says, "If you want access to the photos that I've cropped and this and that and something else, then it's $3.99 on Patreon." So she's selling these things. I don't care where these photos are put, whether they're on YouTube or any other platform. No matter the platform, no matter the place, it's morally and ethically wrong.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. In fact, I want to bring up a few quotes, starting with a quote out of history. Does the name William Faulkner ring any bells, anybody?
Yes.
William Faulkner said, "Never be afraid to raise your voice for honesty and truth and compassion and against injustice and lying and greed." Hold on, let me pull that up for everybody to see. See, as I read it off. Yeah, there we go. Never be afraid to raise your voice for honesty and truth and compassion against injustice and lying and greed. If people all over the world would do this, it would change the earth. William Faulkner. And I have some other comments I want to bring up as well. This is these are a lot directly towards Zav Girl. I'm going to begin with somebody that I may need to subscribe to if I haven't done so already. This is from Kate Does Crime. She said, "I just want to say sharing photos of someone's murdered child is gross and heartbreaking. I have a young son, and I just can't imagine being in that position, knowing that my child's photos are being passed around the internet that anyone can pay $3 to see. I understand it's a public request, but most people wouldn't even know they were unsealed, being that Gannon is a minor, and if they did, wouldn't share them behind a paywall, or much less share them at all. If someone wants to look at them privately because of an interest in true crime, I don't see anything wrong with that, but not share a minor child's photos for profit. I saw the video. She showed Gannon lying on the ground next to the suitcase where they found him. She zoomed in on his decomposed face, commenting about the maggots, showing his nude body during the autopsy. It was blurred out in the picture she saw. But I also didn't look very close to pictures because I was absolutely horrified. So I'm not sure if it was in the others. Zav Girl and Natasha, you're hella wrong for this, and I hope y'all have taken them down." And I'll go back to a quick comment that Miss Thang put in, and she said that what Zav Girl did was disgusting. I agree. How you doing, Blondie? Blondie, if you want to come up, you want to add your 2 cents to this whole mess, and trust me, it's a mess. I'm giving you the link as well. So there you go.
I was on Facebook and I found the post from Landon, and
Oh, I think I have that quote too.
she's absolutely heartbroken. Absolutely heartbroken.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, she said, and I'm quoting, Gannon is my child, and is not an experiment nor a piece of paper or photo. He is a child. I pray that all that is involved in this heinous act will stop and no longer do this to anyone else. I will not give you any satisfaction. No one deserves this, and no one wants to be in these shoes. You may say that if it happened to you, you may not change your actions. I do not wish this on anyone. I'm sure you will rethink your actions if this was indeed you or your child. The good that I take from this is that good people still exist. And in a matter of seconds, Gannon's army came together. I surely hope Gannon taught you all a lesson. He is the one who deserves an apology. My son, Gannon. Let's see. Back to Blondie says, Thanks. My house is too noisy right now. I'll run my mouth in the chat. No problem. He was already let down by adults once. Why do it again? We are supposed to be better than the monsters we exposed. Yes. Absolutely, Blondie. I mean, this is sickening to me. Sickening.
And the other thing is that it's not just disgusting what they've done. It's actually macabre.
Yes.
It's macabre. And the thing is that people that think along these lines should be made to take a psych assessment.
Absolutely.
They're putting things out there because out there in the big wide universe, there are potential killers that will take pleasure in this sort of thing.
Right? I mean, I think the good Lord. I haven't seen that video. I think the good Lord. I have not seen that video, or else I would be a lot madder than what I am. I mean, Blondie's got two comments back to back. She said the fact that she mentioned how much it cost her to get the Freedom of Information Act and then put it out behind a paywall. Not only killers, but other scumbags too, regarding to the comment you made. And to say I agree is just scratching the surface. I mean, listen to this from Lawyer Mystery Maven. She made two comments. First, she said, since appearing on Hidden True Crime yesterday to discuss the recent issue of the posting of autopsy photos, I've received a very significant response from many who are looking for some assistance in writing letters to their legislatures to try and ensure that there are limitations on the release and use of such images. Please keep that fight going, Lawyer Mystery Maven. She said, to streamline this and to make sure I don't miss anyone who has reached out, I will be putting something together in the next week that you can use as a guide. Once this is complete, I will post it here. Please note, I will be doing this in addition to my other responsibilities, so I will need a little bit of time to get this in order. Thank you all for your inspiring response. It is wonderful to see how this community can come together and stand up for victims and their families and loved ones. She also posted this. And this is a shot in Zav Girl. It's a sad day when a quote-unquote true crime creator describes themselves as a victim's quote-unquote advocate. Post autopsy photos of a minor who was savagely murdered behind a paywall, no less. asking for money to view the remains of an innocent, victimized child. The child is buried. The trial is over. The perpetrator convicted. The family has requested, please do not do this. And yet the creator persists, defending the heinous act. What kind of community tolerates and encourages such vile behavior? Why aren't more big creators with influence speaking out about this? Have clicks, views, and profits been prioritized over the victim? Is making money at any cost, remaining silent in the face of this sick act, really worth it in order to not risk the profit you make when covering victims' cases? Many are afraid to step up, to risk losing their profits, but I refuse. Someone needs to stand up for the victim and what is right. I don't care if I have 1 million views or 1 view. I will not be apathetic. I will speak up for this child and the child's family. I will do whatever I can to prevent this and to try and help. This sweet boy deserves to rest in peace, and his family deserves the right to grieve and live as best they can with the knowledge that the true crime community supports them. Thank you, Patreon, for removing the content put out by Zav Girl. Thank you to all the creators, subscribers, and viewers who have taken a stand against this disturbing, money-making atrocity. Everyone can make mistakes, and it is my sincere hope that this creator will reevaluate their actions, apologize to the family, and consider some advocacy training. I also hope larger creators will start speaking up and using their platform and leadership to draw a line that this is unacceptable. And of all the hashtags she left behind, the one that spoke out to me said, engage with empathy. Engage with empathy. That's how I started Bethea'S Byte Reloaded. Sure, I was originally doing this thing with covering politics, but when I saw true crime is what a lot of people are paying attention to, I said, okay, maybe I'll see how that works out with me. I've seen more creators with more compassion, more empathy in their hearts and their souls for the victims than I've seen everyone just out for the click, the view, the money, and the drama. That's what drew me in. I said, okay, now you got a fighter on you. Now you got another fighter. Let's go. Let's get justice for these victims. Let's make sure these victims get the justice they deserve. And then I see and hear people like Zav Girl, Natasha Cooper, and worst of the bunch, Bullhorn Betty. These are the kind of people that make me sick. They turn my stomach in two. And why? They want the views, they want the clicks, they want the drama, they want the money. And again, as I stated before, it keeps me wondering whether I should or whether I should not, when I'm able to, monetize this channel. On the one side, I want to do it just to keep this thing running. But on the other side, I don't want to do it to maintain my integrity toward the victims. So that's the thing that has me wobbling back and forth. I watch.
Ernest,
Yes.
if you were to monetize to help you keep going, you could also consider donating a portion of that to some sort of fund or something like that that supports families and things.
You know, Sam, I like that idea too. I mean,
So
what do you think about, say, I don't know,
whatever you feel comfortable with
30,
is what you need to
I'm,
go
I'm,
with. Like,
I'm just saying this as an example. If I'm at that point, I'm able to do it. Say 30-40% what I make to keep the channel going.
if you feel comfortable with that figure, yeah, I think, you know, there is people out there obviously making money on their memberships and everything like that. I'm very, very early stages of wanting to probably start up my own channel for news and views, because we've got some very hefty subjects going going down over here right now. And Facebook's not a very good platform to do it on. And yeah, so later on offline, I might try and talk to you, offline or something. But let me give you a perspective on the difference between just being able to access documents that you've got over there and what it's like in New South Wales, right?
Right.
If a person wants to apply for access to coronial documents, which would include police reports, witness statements, expert reports, autopsy reports, transcripts or coroner's findings, the following people are the only ones that they'll release things to. So it could be a next of kin or someone from an extended family. But those people actually need to provide copies of birth and death certificates to prove that they are next of kin or immediate family, and they will get those for free. Who else can get them? They may be released, and this is the word may, be released to a statutory body for a statutory function, a member of the police force or law enforcement, researchers for research, approved by an ethics committee. Anyone who can satisfy that they have an appropriate interest to receive the information. Now, this is where it comes, this is the key thing. These things are not automatically granted. So who decides my application? The coroner managing the coronial case will decide whether to approve the application. In some cases, the coroner will impose a condition on release of a document. If the coroner refuses an application, they will provide reasons such as where it may hinder an ongoing criminal investigation, or the person who has applied has an insufficient interest. So we have very, very strict laws here. That kind of thing, I don't think, I don't recollect I have ever seen anyone be able to get hold of material and evidence like that that has any right to it here, because it's so strict.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. Let me go back to a couple of comments I got I've got before that last one I just showed. So Mischiefs said that I should monetize. She's enjoying the coverage and my openness on certain subjects. I appreciate that. We were talking about if I do monetize, I should what I should do with some of the money that I make. I would only do it to keep the live streams going like this is Blondie says I should take a portion from each stream to the case I'm covering or to victim assistance. Now that's an idea I like. And then she chimes in. The last thing she mentioned was that there needs to be 2 tiers of Freedom of Information Act release, one for YouTubers and one for legal media. Now that's a smart idea. That's a smart idea.
You'd have to really define what is legal media.
When I'm saying legal media, I'm just here in the United States, and I'm just gonna call out a few networks that I can think of. Freedom of Information Act from legal media here in the United States is they would get this information to networks like ABC, NBC, CBS, News Nation, Fox News. Oh boy, that's a stretch. CNN, that's a stretch. Those networks. Whereas, let's see. And mischief all around me says, and not Bullhorn Betty's pretty badge either. You're right. We're not law enforcement. We're just YouTube creators giving our opinions, our support to the victims, and just seeking justice for those victims. We're not supposed to be here to re-victimize the victims. If we're doing that, then we're no better than the Zav Girls, the Natasha Coopers, or the Bullhorn Bettys on YouTube. And me personally, I can't do that. I can't. Blondie adds a little something extra to that, bringing awareness to and light the darkness. Mischief says that she's been around these true crime streets for a long time, and some of these so-called peeps are as shady AF. I have a whole list I will not watch. Mischief, I'm gonna do you one better than that. I'm gonna shout some people out because not only do I appreciate what they do and what they contribute, but if I had to trust anybody on these YouTube true crime streets, these are the ones I go to quick, fast, in a hurry. So I'm shouting out as always. Allegedly with Brittany J. Thank you for what you do. Checking Convictions, Burden of Proof, True Crime on the Record, my main man 50 Grand, Arctic Fox True Crime, Lost Souls True Crime in chat. How you doing, Scarlett? Love you for what you're doing. Red Bull Coffee and Crime, Kids True Crime, Sleuth Mom, and I gotta add the look of my life because she's associated with Sleuth Mom as well. Web Sleuths, who I discovered last night. I love what you're doing there. Here's Sally My Jack, Jewels of All Trades True Crime, Let's Talk Live Podcast, True Crime Beat, Sweet Misery TC, Duchess, Sleuthy Goosey, Baglera, Dippy TC, and Sav YouTube. I appreciate everybody I shouted out. I appreciate you all.
I'd like to add a couple.
Go ahead.
Travaga Law, the lawyer you know.
Uh-huh.
Harvard lawyer Lee.
Yeah.
there's a lot of these people out there that are doing absolutely fabulous, informative sessions where they're putting things into perspective of, well, Harvard lawyer Lee actually had a DNA expert on a panel, I think it was yesterday, the day before, breaking down how they do the family tree thing and the snippets. And it's so thorough. That sort of stuff is thoroughly interesting. I encourage people to stick with some credibles out there. So there's quite a number of those sorts of people that are absolutely doing their darndest to be informative about what is actually in the documents and what they really mean. Last night at 11 p.m. my time, Travagos actually did a 12-minute thing on the access of these documents and the FOI that this girl has done, or both of them have done. And you could just tell by his delivery that he's absolutely livid by this, because he said he makes money out of people's tragic situations being a lawyer. Doesn't mean he likes it.
You're right. You're so right.
Doesn't mean he likes having to make money out of people's tragic situations that they need a lawyer to represent them. But
when I was
he does so well.
Go ahead.
So well when he explains things, he very, very carefully makes sure that he's not misleading people in how things are worded, and he's absolutely brilliant in that. So I encourage people to sign up to the credible channels. I also encourage people to unsubscribe these losers.
Yes, I was gonna say that for the end. But there was also one other person I wanted to shout out, and I didn't, but I saved it. I just put her in. We got to shout out Lawyer Mystery Maven too, right? Because the last thing she commented on is what she's going to do as far as legislation goes. She and everybody I shouted out deserves a round of applause for that.
Well, absolutely. I mean, even if a portion of YouTube money right now was to go to funding getting the law sorted out, to fund a case, because I've heard or seen or read that Al Stark and Landon are not in a position to fund a civil lawsuit with this.
Yeah. So like you said, for anybody that's subscribed to like Bullhorn Betty or like Natasha Cooper, Zav Girl, unsubscribe them. Unsubscribe from those channels. Let those channels fall by the wayside. Let those clowns know that you're standing up for what's right and standing everything against that's wrong. They call me an outlaw for a reason. If it's wrong, I'm calling it out as wrong. That's what this edition of Bethea'S Byte Reloaded is for. Blondie says everyone should be writing their government officials to demand change. Absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't have said that any better myself. Get in contact with your government officials. Let's change things.
And another thing to add to that, writing to government officials right now, is that you guys are in election mode, and this is the time to get it done.
Yeah, especially with something like this, the Freedom of Information Act. I absolutely agree that there should be some restrictions on. Or like Blondie said, there should be two tiers: one for the legal and one for us YouTubers. Me personally, I'm done this for just a little over a year. And the last thing I want to do is re-victimize the victims. I have way too much integrity for that. And I'm not saying that to toot my own horn. I have a heart. I'm not going to put out whether I put it out for free or whether or behind a paywall. I'm not going to put out autopsy photos. And all that's going to do is re-victimize the victim. I give warnings that this is gonna trigger your emotions. It may be a trigger to your mental health. And if this is something that you cannot handle, I'll tell you flat out that this particular edition of Bethea'S Byte Reloaded is not for you. Period. Point blank. And why do I do this? Because I care. I will do this not just for the victims, not just for the subscribers, but for everyone. I'm not in the business of hurting people. I'm in the business of seeking justice. I'm in the business of seeking justice for victims. If I can, I'm in the business of bringing the missing home. All simply by putting the information out. All by simply getting your opinions, by listening to your opinions, by maybe triggering a debate. I'm not one to pass up a good debate. But in the end, I want to hear from you. And at the end of the day, I want to be sure that justice is served. Yes, I'm only a small creator. I just found out that I'm just cracked over 300 subscribers, and I thank you all tremendously. You don't know how much it means to me. But I'm not doing this to I'm not doing this just for the clicks, the views, the drama, and the money. I'm here for all the right reasons. I'm here to make sure that the victims are being done right. I'm here to make sure that the bad guys get what they have coming to them, and we can move onward. Blondie, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I hope and pray that I can get 300 more. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this the hard way instead of busting out the old Nightbot. Anybody wants to get a hold of me? This is how you get me on Facebook. Bethea'S Byte Reloaded True Crime. On Twitter, EKB316. Here on YouTube, it's Bethea'S Byte Reloaded, with and without the punctuation. On Instagram, I'm at EB The Last Outlaw. On TikTok, King of Hearts 316 2021. You can email me, kingofhearts316_09 at outlook.com. That's it. That's how you can get a hold of me. And I give you this to so that way you can give me information. You can give me the my ups and my downs of this channel. I'm good about some constructive criticism. No, Blondie, thank you. And I thank you. I thank Mischief. I thank Miss Fang. Sav, I got you on my shout out list. I thank you. Everybody that I shouted out earlier, thank you for doing what you do. And everybody who subscribed to me, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, I ask you to do this, like I said. If you're already subscribed to the Bullhorn Bettys, the Natasha Coopers, and the Zav Girls of the YouTube true crime community, unsubscribe from them. They're not here for all the right reasons. They're here, as we say, as we wrestling fans would say, they're going into business for themselves. Everybody I shouted out, and myself included, we're not like that. And I hope that the families of these victims, especially the family of Gannon Stauk, will know that there are people in the true crime community that will stand up and support them, not trying to re-victimize them all over again. Again, I want to say thank you to everybody. You're right. You're right, Marty. Blank, period.
What bothers me is that there are some reasonably known creators also that haven't addressed this from their side.
That's what lawyer Mystery Maven said. But I believe she said also that it might be the fact that they're scared that profits, views, subscriptions, clicks, they're getting in the way of doing the right thing. I'm like I said,
I'm thinking of one in particular that is actually documenting a publication on that particular case, and I haven't seen anything from them. And they are putting, a print material together, and it won't just cover that case. But I think that person should definitely be weighing in on this subject matter, considering their focus that they say that they are taking for their publication. I don't think that person is unethical at all, but I think because they're basing their publication on the court of public appeal and basically social media, they should be coming out and putting a public, stream out or video out with their point of view for this, because that's they've been part of this sort of thing for quite some time before they had a YouTube channel, my understanding is. I won't say any name at all because I don't want anyone to think that I'm condemning them at all, because I'm not. But I think that this person should be saying something. I know that Brittany J plans to do something slightly different, that's her choice, which is fine. She's going to address it, but she is going to address it, which is great. But when it comes down to people that aren't calling these people out and standing up for, like take Coburger case for an example. Right now, there is a separate court case going on for media access. And this kind of act absolutely screws that case to the wall for that judge to even allow a camera in the room now. So these people doing these wrong things are screwing it for the people out there that are doing the right things and doing them in a dignified and sensitive manner.
You're right. You are so right. I mean, you know how they say the one bad apple spoils the bunch. It's like we're getting punished for what these bad actors do. And there it is. Blondie summed it up perfectly. It takes only one to screw it up for the rest. Absolutely.
Look, I'm fully expecting to see now that the judge is not going to allow courtroom cameras into that Koberger case because of this now, because this issue on YouTube is not isolated to knowledge just in the US. It has actually gone to the UK. It's already known in Australia. It's actually made the Hindu Times. So it's gone to India even. It's worldwide known. And the court case with the Koberger access, they actually got a media monitor expert out there to testify who said that if it is publicised via live stream, etc., this is why they have the dissemination order on this case, that it is potentially 4 billion views. They're not wrong. They're not wrong. And I hope that they don't just seal children autopsy photos. I hope they seal all autopsy photos.
Exactly. So Blondie, you hear where we stand with you on that last comment, and take it further. This disgusting acts like this shouldn't even take place. Not on YouTube, not anywhere. Before I end this live stream, I want to send a shout out to Gannon's family. Again, I want to say that not everyone in the YouTube true crime community are like these people, and I'm putting that in the most blunt context as possible. We're not the monsters most people make us out to be. We are here to do right by the victims. Even though there's a good few that wants to go into business for themselves, and by going into business, they re-victimize the victims in the process. There are those of us who are not about that. So we pray that you're able to grieve in peace. We pray that Gannon can rest in peace and let justice continue to be done. We will continue to represent Gannon's army. We will continue to represent Gannon's army. I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. Like I said earlier, I didn't have any plans for coming up here on a Thursday for this edition of Bethea'S Byte Reloaded, but it had to be done. Had to be. Sav, I want to thank you for joining me. Your insight is just awesome. I'm glad I have you aboard.
Thank you so much. I do appreciate the kind words there. I do try to be a very grounded person and very thoughtful in what I say and how I say it. I don't wish ill on the creators that have done the wrong thing either, but I think they do need to be brought to justice on this occasion. And I can already see that the court of YouTube is doing a very, very good job of bringing that justice to the forefront with the amount of people that are calling this out.
Absolutely.
That live stream on the live stream yesterday absolutely is the most precious thing I've ever seen. And I congratulate the guys in doing that. And I think after you left, I actually called them.
I called them as well.
Yeah, I actually called them by phone, which is not something I would normally do.
Sav Blondie has a little comment for you as well. Check it out.
Oh, that's so sweet of you to say that. I mean, I don't believe that there's any eloquence in not in being rude or nasty back. It's only going to wreck my mind by being that way. And I think it just needs to be put into reasonable perspective. But that is so nice of you to say that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. I want to say thank you to everybody that came in the chat and spoke their piece. I want to thank everybody who is still standing up to this garbage, because that's what it is to me, garbage. I want to thank you all who is faithful to getting justice for the victims. And Blondie, I am definitely with you. With kids and animals, I lose my mind. Yeah, I think a lot of us do too. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't have plans to come up here on a Thursday to respond to something like this, but here I am. Here I am, and I'm glad I'm able to stand up for what's right and call out who and what is wrong. I'm an outlaw. I'm an outlaw that calls out things when they're wrong. And I'm going to continue to do that until I breathe my last breath. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm Ernest Bethea, the Last Outlaw. And I appreciate each and every one of you. I love you. Take it. Spread it around. Be kind to yourself. Good to yourself. Be good to others. And let's do this again next time. Same time, same place. Until then, you all know what to do. Bite this. Hey guys, The Last Outlaw here. Thank you all so much for watching this video and subscribing to Bethea'S Byte Reloaded. I appreciate the support of this little engine powered by you. Did you enjoy this video? Do you want to give your feedback on it? Here's what you do. Like this video to get more eyes on it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Be sure to click the notification bell and set it to all to be notified of future videos. Share this video to your social media. I respond to your comments, good or bad, so drop your thoughts here. Be sure to follow Bethea'S Byte Reloaded all over social media. At Bethea'S Byte True Crime on Facebook. At EKB316 on Twitter. At Bethea'S Byte Reloaded on YouTube. That's with and without the punctuation marks. At EB The Last Outlaw on Instagram. At King of Hearts 316 2021 on TikTok. You can email me at kingofhearts316_09@outlook.com. This is your home for news, opinions, debates, your voice, and justice served. This is Bethea'S Byte, and it's reloaded.